rezone 31.51 acres of land, more or less, located on the north side of Ronald Reagan Highway, west of Louisiana Highway 1077, Covington, S20 T6S R10E, from its existing R1 rural residential district to an S2 suburban residential district.
Thank you. I'm Matthew Allen, representing Northshore Riverwatch. And again, I'm going to try to split this up between the two different appeals. And some of the things that were said, that the 2040 plan says residential medium here. But the 2040 plan also says you shouldn't be developing intensely in a flood zone. This is a flood zone. It's been shown over and over again. And the fact that it's not in the Tchefuncte Basin does not mean the Tchefuncte River does not affect this. There's definitely overflow where the Tchefuncte and Tangipahoa combine and join during major floods in this area. This is putting up a blockage, a fill. And we're asking, is it really appropriate to put 90 homes in a flood hazard area? And then keep putting more fill in flood hazard areas. You end up with a self-fulfilling flooding prophecy. Just like the Aesop's fable, where the stork cannot reach the water in the bottom of the jar, so it starts putting pebbles in to raise the water so he can get a drink. That same type of issue is what we're looking forward to in the future if we keep developing slab on grade for residential in this area. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Bruce?
I will
Okay.
concur with the S1.
So that will be then a motion to override the zoning commission's denial based on the applicant's verbal amendment of the application to request a zoning change from R1 to S1.
That's it. Okay.
And a
You
vote.
second it.
I'll second.
Ms. Sine. So a vote yes.
So a vote of,
A vote yes.
Yes.
Means you're
Overturning.
voting to override
Okay.
and have the zoning change from
To S1.
R1 to S1.
all right.
Please vote by your lights.
Okay. All right.
Has everyone voted?
The motion passes with 11 yeas, 2 nays, and 1 absent.
And then we will need a motion and a second to introduce an ordinance for the zoning
Can you
change.
hold-
Appealing the zoning commission's denial on June 2nd, 2026, to rezone 264.35 acres of land, more or less, located on the north side of Ronald Reagan Highway and on the south side of Louisiana Highway 1077, Covington, S17 and 20, T6S, R10E, from its existing R1 Rural Residential District and NC2 Neighborhood Commercial District to an S1 Suburban Residential District and S2 Suburban Residential District.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Matthew Allen for Northshore Riverwatch. And yeah, I'm just going to continue on. It's not going to be the same stuff. But the first thought, floods themselves are a natural thing. It's how water runs off to the sea when it rains. We get 60 plus inches a year on average here in South Louisiana. So yeah, it floods. And we know where it floods. So the floods themselves don't cause damage. It's the inappropriate development where it floods that causes damage. Fill too much, redirect flood water to somebody else. This one really stands a chance of doing that. This is, it looks like a little over a mile long, north and south. That actually blocks that overflow that we've talked about from the Tchefuncte River. It was happening just a couple weeks ago on Gottschall Road. That's going to redirect all that water. Where's it going to redirect it to, possibly? Those other subdivisions you talked about on the north side. We don't know. But the question is, Northshore Riverwatch doesn't oppose growth. We oppose flooding, floodplain development, and placing massive residential housing. How many homes are we talking about here? 600, 700? That's a lot of homes in a flood hazard area that we don't really know that much about. Also, there's no cumulative impact. Just tonight shows us. We're not going to talk about flooding issues with what we just talked about combined with this one in the same area. That has been the process for 20 years now. We need to get over that. But I really don't envy all your jobs. Zoning decisions are long-term generational decisions. The council has inherited the consequences of decisions made decades ago. Y'all are playing with it right now, struggling with it, not playing, sorry for the wording. The decisions before you tonight will also be inherited by future councils and residents. We have the opportunity to use the best available data, which I gave y'all yesterday in what I emailed to you, and avoid creating more flood risk and exposing our parish to greater flood damages. That's what you do when you put subdivisions where it floods like this. You're exposing this whole parish to greater damages. Okay? Rising flood insurance rates. Why do you think they went up so much? Too many people across the nation building in flood hazard areas. Zoning. It's just about land use. The question for you, is this an appropriate area for 700 homes? And then a continuing precedent of adding more and more fill to this area that we know floods regularly, every 10 years or so. Well, land within a floodplain may be privately owned. Floodplains themselves serve a public purpose. They keep the floodwaters out of the existing areas that don't flood already. You start filling them in, again, back to the Aesop stork fable. Start filling it in, that water rises. We have not studied this. Our last base flood elevation study was the 1980 study. We have not studied base flood elevation with all the development we've had in this basin all the way down to Flowers Estates in the last 20 years. We don't know how this river is responding right now. So is it appropriate to zone this for residential 700 plus houses where we really don't know what the real risk is? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
The motion passes with 8 yeas, 5 nays, and 1 absent.
Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen.
We still need a motion.
A motion, okay, motion.
Hold on one moment.
All right, hold on.
Okay.
Okay, I need a motion and a second to introduce. Ms. Casabon? Please leave quietly. Ms. Casabon makes the motion, and Ms. Seiden, do you second? Okay.